Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. A lot going on this week. I talked about many things during the general reading. I'll just quickly try to recap. I was going to say some of the most important, but they're really all important. On the 14th, so I'm going all the way to the end of the reading. This reading covers the period of today, September 8th, through Saturday to come, September 14th. On the 14th, we have 3 events occurring at 12:33 a.m. Off the top of my head, so don't quote me, but I did give the time in the general reading. I had it in front of me. The full moon in Pisces occurs. So you'll see people saying that it's occurring on Friday. Actually, I mean, I had seen that myself, but I looked a little bit more into it. And depending upon where you are in the world, truly, you're going to have the full moon either on the 14th or the 15th. It doesn't really occur on Friday, but it occurs on Saturday at 12:33 in the morning. So it's like Friday night. So, we'll get to see the full moon, although it won't officially be the full moon based on the time yet, on Friday the 13th, many of us. So that's pretty cool. And I think that doesn't happen again until 2049, if I remember correctly. Again, I talked about all this stuff in the general. Also on that same day, so this is pretty interesting, Mercury and Venus enter Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So Mercury and Venus, I didn't talk about it in the general reading, these two. That's why I'm mentioning them first. And I'm just going to do it briefly, and maybe in the full moon reading, I'll go over a little bit more extensively. But Mercury in Libra is going to be about, of course, communication. It's air, right? It's a lot of air. But diplomacy, really a huge part in that communication. An excellent time for negotiations and compromise. And I'll say I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50-50 shows up on the dice, because that sort of thing, like, give and take in terms of communication. Not one-sided conversations or points of view, like people open to hearing another perspective, exploring another perspective themselves, and able to view multiple sides. Like that's a very air sign trait, super Gemini, to be able to maybe disagree with another point, but still understand it, and not just be put off, and understand and see, and maybe even see some things. Okay, I see your point. That makes sense. I don't have to dismiss the whole thing. I see your point too. It makes sense. I mean, I still have my own point. It's that sort of thing. Venus in Libra, again, Venus is Libra's ruler, so she's really at home there. And Libra is considered the sign of one-on-one relationships. So of course, those are not only romantic relationships. I mentioned this in a reading that I did the other day. I think that was a daily. And I was talking to my viewers about the Sagittarius moon, and particularly Gemini's. That's our 7th house of relationships. And the 7th house is a ruler of one-on-one relationships. And so it can be, parent-child, boyfriend-girlfriend, husband-wife, brother-sister, or sibling in general, BFF. Does not have to be romantic. But similar to what I said about Mercury in Libra, about the diplomacy and the 50-50. So here, more so than in communication specifically, we're going to see it in our relations. And, realizing the relationships give and take, or require give and take. They require for each person to be an active and willing participant for it to really work, properly and healthily, and not be one-sided. It's a good time for love. It's a really good time for love. Libra is also considered to be the most balanced. People see Libra and they think, and we call, like in tarot, we call the card that represents the sign of Libra justice. And people think that, that means like all Libras are, just and on the up and right. That's not really what it means. It's more so, the sign of Libra is more so about balance, equality, equity. And that's in large part what Venus is about. And she is the goddess and planet of love. And that's a large part of what love is about, equity. Um, yeah, so it's a good time to get, love is definitely going to be in the air, and it's a healthy time to begin or nurture or restore. A huge time to restore relationships because, again, now we're willing to compromise. So maybe I'll read from something, again, like I said, when I do the full moon reading and give you a more, you know, detailed outlook as to what it is, probably written a lot more eloquently than I just said it, because that was off the top of my head. Today is a feast day in celebration of Mary. It is the chosen date of Christian churches to celebrate her birthday. It's just pulled out of the air. This is not her birthday. Because they chose this date out of the air, they also chose December 8th out of the air. Or maybe I think they chose that one first, actually. December 8th is the Annunciation, when Saint Anne realized or was told that she was pregnant, at her late age and all of that. She was still told that she was pregnant with Mary after having prayed for a child and promised that if she had one, she would, basically give her to the church. She was pretty much like raised by nuns, essentially, or the equivalent. And that was the promise. We just want a child, and we'll be happy to give her back to you, God, to serve. So that's what was done, and that day is recognized on December 8th, the day that Saint Anne is said to have become pregnant. But again, it's a chosen date. They don't try to pretend that that's the real date. Like Christmas, for example. People will try to push that that's an accurate date, and of course we know it's not. Even the Bible doesn't align with that. The Bible talks about Mary eating dates and things when she had Jesus, and so that would have been summer. In any case, yeah, December 8th was chosen for the date to recognize that Saint Anne became pregnant, so they just counted 9 months later to September 8th today. But what is I guess nice is that today equals 11, right? 9 plus 8 plus 3 equals 11. So that's nice for her. And then 11 or 2 does more so represent her because, of course, the Roman numeral 2 basically is like the symbol for Gemini. And that is more accurate for her birthday. Actually, that is accurate for her birthday. So, I've talked many times about how she is connected to a mother in general, not just Mary. But Mary connected to the numbers very, very much so. 6, 13, and 9. And 11 sometimes. But many of us are attached to 11. Like I got my name 11 days after I was born. On the 11th day, I was given a name. So she has another holiday, and that is on the 12th. The holy name. Speaking of the names, y'all know I'm Mary, right? I wasn't going to talk about this, but now I just mentioned that I got my name. But I know my older viewers know, and I'm not really even sure who's watching my channel right now. If I still have a lot of my original viewers, or if I have new ones. But you newer ones you may not know, and I am. And I'm sure you would say, well, anybody could say that they're anybody. That is true. I totally agree. But the reason that I knew, and I've been able to prove many, many times that those numbers are associated with Mary is because that is me. The reason my name is Mariama is because that is me. The reason the name Queen of Swords was given to me, Queen of Swords, which is 27 letters, which equals 9, comprised of 2 words, 11. The reason it was given to me was because, well, the swords are about metal and stuff. And so, God was saying how precious, like precious metal I was to him. But the name equals in gematria, and you can check this out. Anybody can go online in any gematria calculator that I have no ability to manipulate. Right, you go on your own computer or your own phone or whatever, and you type in Queen of Swords space the Lightworker, and you will see for yourself that in the different ciphers of gematria, it means something special in every single one. So it means 144, as in the 144,000. It means 360, as in 360 degrees. It means 369, as in the key to the universe. So these are all things that I couldn't do on my own. But even the holiday that I was talking about, to get back to that, the Holy Name of Mary, that is celebrated on the 12th, which is what caused me to go off on a tangent, having mentioned that I was given the same name that she carried in her time, Mariama, on my 11th day here on this earth. The Holy Name of Mary was established in Spain in the year 1513, which also equals 613. Similarly, my birthday, 613, or June 13th, is the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. The original Our Lady of Fatima occurred on June 13th, 1917. I was born on June 13th, 1971. It's the same numbers. They both equal 1999 or 19, which is a representation of Father. I mean, I can go on and on and on with all the different things. So yes, many people could probably say they're Mary or anybody else, but they're not going to have all of the circumstantial evidence at worst that I have. But getting back on track, on the 14th is also the feast day of the Triumph of the Cross. I skipped over September 11th, which many things occur on September 11th, of course, in the United States here and in my city and in my neighborhood, like 5 blocks east of the Trade Center is where I live. We recognize the event of September 11th, of course, but September 11th is also the Ethiopian New Year, so it's a happy day. It is the feast day of Ashura. Ashura is a day that recognizes Noah's family having left the ark, the Exodus, Moses leading the Exodus, and the assassination of Muhammad's grandson. All those events are recognized under the feast day of Ashura, which is what came to divide Sunni and Shia Muslims. That when that event occurred, it was a battle at Karbala that led to that division of those two types of Muslims. But that holiday begins on the 10th, the sundown at the 10th, and the whole day of the 11th. What else? That may be it. Interesting trivia is that September 11th also equals 11. It's the 254th day of the year. So 29 or 11. And after September 11th, or from that date, there are 111 days left in the year. All right, let's get to this week's reading on that note. Beginning with Dirty Movie. Try again. And buy shoes. Spirit says eat cake because it's Mary's birthday today. Well, fake birthday today. And anybody else celebrating a birthday? Any Virgos out there? There may be some engagements and congratulations and things in order. Congratulations on those who just started school, went back to school, maybe off to college or back to college. Some of us grown folks, sometimes we like to go back. Whatever you may be celebrating, eat cake, enjoy. Also, weekend away. And email. So we could get some sort of communication, news, or perhaps we'll be the sender of such. Let me make sure that everything's going to be in frame. Shift this camera a little bit. Let's do this. Is that good? What's wrong with this stand? Is it moving? Okay. All right, we'll just shuffle the cards a little bit in front of you guys live. Beginning with the Queen of Air, which will be a representation of perhaps Venus or Libra or both. Independent, experience, realistic, and witty. It could be Mercury too. You know, they're not gender or, you know, sexual, you know, specific, sexuality or gender specific. The Queen of Air is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. The Queen of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Oh, isn't that awesome? We open right to Justice, Major Arcana card Justice, which represents the sign of Venus. Again, as I was saying, in Libra. This week, 14th. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Justice. And not to be outdone, here comes Mercury. Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which represents the Fool in the traditional tarot. In this deck, it's called the Dreamer. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. This deck, I've had it for a long time. You can probably tell. And those of you who've been watching me for a while, you know that this deck for me, it represents the planet Mercury. It always has. I never could say exactly why, but it has. So Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo, where the sun currently is located. But now Mercury in Libra. Okay, both of those occur on the 14th, and they're wanting us to see Major Arcana card 20 here. So we've got an 11 now joining us, just for good measure, I guess. And renewal, it's called in this deck, but this is actually Judgment, which represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio, which it rules. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Justice. And maybe I should stop here, right? The Page of Air. So we're still in that same energy. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information. Delays or changes to plans. And truth delivered without tact. The Page of Air, like the Queen with which we started, is also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and can be about news that you're receiving. It may come via email, or maybe that you're sending out. Okay, communications or communication in general. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. The Page of Air for me is first and foremost a Gemini, because Gemini is the mutable sign. So it's the pages are youthful. And so Gemini is the more youthful of the elements of air. And we do have that tendency to just say stuff. Not trying to like hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but just like we're just filterless basically. So if it's good, we just say it. If it's bad, we just say it. A lot of times we don't think before we, just drop something. Also occurring this week, actually, is it the 10th? I left this one out. Jupiter will be Quincux, I think it is the true node, which is currently Cancer. Jupiter, well, this is balance. They call it in this deck, but it's actually Temperance, which represents the sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. So this kind of describes what I was saying Venus in, Libra, as well as Mercury in Libra, actually, is about that compromise, that cooperation, that working together, that negotiation and stuff. But Temperance for me is also a healing energy about restoration and like being made whole. So if you felt that you were lacking something, you were devoid of something, you lost something, it's like things are coming back and you're coming back together too. You're coming into balance. So you're just feeling more stable, more complete. And speaking of Sagittarius and Jupiter, it's the Page of Fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. Page of Fire is indeed a Sagittarius, especially since it's a page, right? The more youthful, the mutable sign of the element of fire is Sagittarius. But this can be a Leo or an Aries or someone not a fire sign, just anyone likened to those traits or attributes, very passionate, right? Overall energy is Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, which represents the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by both Mercury and Venus. So maybe that's why all this Gemini energy is showing up too. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. And life is magical. Or maybe it's all showing up from Mary, right? Also, heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Helping to be willing to forgive. So that's part of like compromise and being 50-50, give and take. That's going to come into play this week with the Mercury and Venus and Libra rather, and Venus and Libra transits. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Heal away addictions. And release. Another Scorpio-like card, like death. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. Heal away addictions. And twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Twin flame showed up yesterday in the general reading when I was shuffling as well. So you know what? On that note, I'll go ahead and cut. I didn't talk about judgment. Now that thinking about that Scorpio energy, I didn't talk about judgment. So judgment as it relates to relationships does that type of energy, behavior does come into play in thinking about, again, what it means for Mercury and or Venus to be in Libra. Because judgment, as it relates to relationships, it's like coming to a crossroad and needing to, decide, where do we go from here, if anywhere? So that requires communication and negotiation too. Also, it can be about second chances. So like I was saying about reconciliation and coming back together, it's a good time to put aside whatever differences we had and come back together and figure things out. So that could be why judgment showed up too. I didn't mention that before. But otherwise, we've come to vacuum away fear. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. Overall energy, probably connected to all of this air, third eye chakra. It is safe for you to see the energy of love in all of its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. Third eye chakra, of course, a communication center, like the throat chakra and the crown chakra. So connected to air signs. From the animal tarot, we're beginning with the King of Spring, could be more Jupiter. Inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up into a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. The King of Spring is a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Of course, the King of Spring, also the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. Opening from there to the Princess of Summer. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. Princess of Summer is a Pisces for me, but can also be a Cancer or a Scorpio, of course. Maybe a younger one, a more youthful one. Pisces, where the moon, the full moon, will occur at the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for some people. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone. This could be connected to email. Or you may be invited to a social event. King of Spring. The 10 of summer, it's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. 10 of summer. And then 9 of summer, I'm going to stop here. 9 of summer is like a big yes, particularly as it relates to love and relationship from the minor arcana. But it's also about prayers being answered, dreams coming true, wishes being granted. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So it's kind of like the star card in the tarot, but it's also very Piscean for me in that, you know, dreams and goals and fantasies are related to Neptune and Pisces as far as I'm concerned. And coming to the Hermit, Major Arcana card 9. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path of spiritual enlightenment as well. So this is you coming into enlightenment, maybe being the teacher and the student of your own life, of you, right? Learning more about you, how to like and even love yourself. Some sort of clarity, spiritual awareness, ascension, or helping someone else, you know, to get clear on something or to understand something a little better, or maybe even to teach them. The Hermit can sometimes also be like a lawyer type for me, a professor, you know, if it's an actual like person in your life, that type. Beautiful overall energy here. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, which does represent the sign of Cancer. So this could be connected to the full moon. Yes, the full moon will be in Pisces, fellow water sign Pisces, but Earth's moon rules the sign of Cancer, you know, in a general sense. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you are receiving. This is you being in the driver's seat of your own life. It could be connected to travel, maybe a weekend away, movement, moving, cohabitation, victory, triumph over some sort of issue or circumstance. All those things could be connected to that. The other place where Cancer comes into play is, again, that Jupiter and True Node transit. The True Node is the North Node, Cancer right now. And lastly, with my Universal Love Oracle, I'm beginning with dreams, which again is a very Piscean kind of energy for me, all about fantasy, illusion, trying to decipher maybe between reality and what is, you know, an illusion, something hidden behind a veil, especially right now while Neptune, Pisces ruler, is currently retrograde in Pisces. And this is now where the full moon will be. And moons are also about mystery, right? And potentially fantasy. So this should be very interesting. This can be about dreams in terms of like while you're sleeping too, and maybe messages that come in dreams and telepathy. And so many things attached to this energy for me. Also, very directly connected to answered prayer, because again, if you have goals, focused intentions, you can manifest those things, and then that turns up in the form of answered prayer. This answered prayer card, other than that, also connected to the energy and signs of Scorpio in particular for me, but you know, water in general, air and water, and Aquarius, with this star sitting here on this angel's throat chakra and the butterfly on her belly. Dreams, meditation, maybe to find balance, zen, peace, so that you'll be able to compromise, negotiate, be fair with others, or toward your focused intentions. Your dreams, you meditate on them. That's part of manifestation. And that's how miracles come true. That's how you manifest what it is you want. Miracles. We'll do one more and we're back to answer prayer. So I was only supposed to do one more anyway. On that note, I will cut. That brings us to the gateway. There's a new phase. There's a transition through which our soul yearns to go. Will we be ready, right, to step through this gateway? And the overall energy is transmutation here. So again, all those things that maybe we've been harboring, that we need to let go, leave in the past, so that we can move forward, so that we can compromise, so that we can come to an agreement with somebody, meet somebody halfway, 50-50, taking all those things and taking and turning them from something that was potentially negative and a cord, an ethereal cord, a negative one that was holding us back, and turning it into love, and instead it will help us to ascend. We begin with this deck and this deck. From the perspective of the divine masculine this week. Divine feminine. So from her higher self to her, or us, our collective higher self. The masculine as it relates to the feminine tends to be connected directly to the cards that are here. The masculine as it relates to himself. The union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender, whatever word feels comfortable for you, toward the union. What energy he wants to give, right? Toward the union this week. What energy he would like her to give toward the union this week. And then what he himself is willing to. And then what the universe would like us both or each to do, and this is whether one is single or partnered. This is feminine and masculine energies. And for this, we have to first affirm, right? We have to we have to ask the universe to, yes, please help us with this. It wants to help us with this, but it sort of needs our permission because we have free will. And this is the outcome. Overall energies of the Chariot and Transmutation. Feminine. Ooh, sorrow. Because someone tried to steal our joy, steal our happiness, or maybe we did. We can steal our own joy by lacking confidence and esteem and being unwilling to take a risk on our own behalf, right? To jump out there and do something. We can miss opportunities like that. So that's a way to steal your own joy. But this can also be connected to other people stealing your joy, maybe even trying to physically steal something from you. Somebody may try to take something or may have taken something from you. With this key here, for some of us, this could be a fight over the apartment, over who gets the house, for some that maybe divorce or separation was involved. And just being sorry or sorrowful that something didn't work out. And something didn't work out. Could definitely be a relationship. There's an engagement ring sitting in here. A financial issue. There's a big gold coin here. I see what looks to be like a heart or something. And a whistle. A whistle. That denotes like safety to me. Like somebody tried to take away somebody's maybe personal space. Freedom. Deny them their freedom. Security. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, again, tends to be very much connected to the cards that the feminine chose for herself. And it is the gateway and the Ace of Autumn. So like wanting to leave this energy of loss and lack and distrust behind and move toward a more positive and abundant one. Right? Let's make the transition. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment, or even relationship, right? A fresh start. The masculine as it relates to himself this week, balance, which is a very temperance-like card for me in this deck, although it's also representative very strongly of air and water. She's kind of been seeing the whole time, even while I was shuffling, now that I think about it. It's been a lot of air and water, either Cancer or Scorpio, and a lot of course, Libra, Gemini. Those signs may be particularly impacted this week. Perhaps Taurus as well, being ruled by Venus. We have this balance being coupled with the Two of Winter, so that, it's two things. We got to weigh a decision, perhaps. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Now, for a lot of us, this is very much about what this picture looks like. There is a masculine, and in terms of the Two of Winter, needing to make a decision as to whether or not to move toward the feminine or not, and somebody or some bodies, right, other influences around him that don't want him there. This is what would make him happy. This is who supports him, and he's sorrowful that they're not together, right? That this yin and yang, it's off. But he's got to make a decision to do the right thing, and that might be why she felt like this. Right? Because in the past, perhaps he hasn't done the right thing. And then this is like a second chance, a brand new start. Maybe in connection to judgment, second time around, second chances, abundance. But a decision has to be made. Like, what are you going to do? Because you can't be worried about, what so-and-so is going to say. And that's what this is about. You're waiting. You haven't done anything yet because you're worried in the meantime about what others are going to think. And that's blocking you from making the decision of which way you're going to move. The Chariot is about movement. When I picked this up, speaking of judgment, it's about abundance that is earned. The Three of Autumn, which is also about that, is sitting right here behind it for me. So very much, very clearly for me, connected to this. And maybe a party of three is involved. Maybe that's what part of the problem is too. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship, honestly, comes from following your passions. This card sounds very much like this one. Following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. So as opposed to someone else, which this card was just talking about. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your true talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. Also up right behind that, Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition that you so richly deserve. Our overall energy here, the Chariot, is also about recognition, honor, triumph, victory. So this is saying you could definitely do it, but you have to have that belief in yourself. And, you have to have that belief in yourself. So that's where that trust comes in. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun, represents the sign of Sagittarius. Yet again. Still another, this is the last one that's upright. It's the Two of Spring, the Two of Wands, which is the Divine Union or Twin Flame card of the Tarot. And two's also in general about faith, believing in yourself. And the universe, believing in the universe too, and your ability to manifest. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors or to expand the number of people who are helping you. What am I doing? That goes there. So this is like saying there could be a very positive outcome. And these two cards together in 11-19, 2 equals 11. There's Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. Just putting these all back. There's the Chariot. So it's about listening again to your soul, your heart, what your intuition, what your mind, your wisdom, your common sense is telling you to do, masculine, basically. But feminine, nobody can give you this trust. That's something you have to work on. Whether it's you're lacking trust in yourself or trust in him or both, you have to work on that. Nobody can give you that. That's for you to restore. The masculine, with regard to the union as a whole, speaking of it's for you to restore, relationship. So this card, as the author intended, is about one working on their relationship with themselves so that relationships with other people will be able to function and work too. Well, maybe not so that they can, but that's definitely a benefit. When we heal our relationship with ourselves, we have healthier relationships with others as well. And another fresh start. The Ace of Spring. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, right? This could be unexpected, maybe because before we had this kind of energy. So it's unexpected for all of a sudden to be jumping from a 7 to an ace and a new opportunity. But you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. Overall, heaven on earth and the Prince of Autumn, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's a very positive energy. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles, basically, is one who always reaches his goal. He is methodical. He plans. He's very slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes too slow for some of us. We're like, can we get on with it already? What's the holdup? But he always is successful. So again, the Chariot is about success. The Sun, which we saw under here, is about success. The Three of Autumn is about, you earned it, you deserve it, it's coming to you. Ace of Autumn connected here too, sitting here right underneath this Prince of Autumn or Knight of Pentacles, says yes, here comes this abundance, but it's been slow and steady. Connection to heaven on earth. When heaven on earth shows up, there is something or someone, and often just emotions, actually, not something tangible, but emotions, negative cords of attachment, negative emotions like resentment, regret, the inability to forgive, guilt, fear, ego, pride, that are taking up space in our life. We need to take those negative emotions and transmute them to love. And also at the same time, that will clear out the space so that allow the blessing to come in, right? We get rid of the negative, the positive blessing can come in. When I picked up this transmute to love, or transmutation, also up right behind it is golden memory. So this card is very much like this one. And usually when I see this one, or vice versa, because it's about what we need to leave behind, what we need to just let it burn, right? We're done with that. And it has to do with the past. We can take the golden memories and the lessons and things those benefits, what we learn, we take that with us. But as far as the baggage and the heaviness, again, those ethereal cords, that needs to be left behind. So healing is required. Transience, surrender, and with the full moon is the perfect time to surrender and to let stuff go. You can write it down. This is what I do. I write the things down of which I want to let go. And I set it on fire. I sure do. I have a copper bowl that sits over here. And I put the paper in there and I set it on fire. Right? And I transmute all those things, all those emotions, all those negative things, all those things from the past that were holding me back. I transmute them to love, so that I can clear out a space so that a blessing can come into me and I can become more abundant. Now, for some, this can be more literal, especially in consideration of a potential party of 3 involving an earth sign. Maybe we need to get rid of the earth sign, and maybe that's what we need to let go. Or maybe we need to let go of someone else, perhaps an air sign or a fire sign. And that fire can include Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. Maybe we have to let that go so the earth sign can be what comes in. What the masculine would have the feminine do, contribute, surrender toward the union this week. What energy is she to give? Meditation and the Seven of Autumn. So again, meditation, this is you perhaps manifesting, right? Focused intentions, drawing what you want into your life. But it's also you finding peace. It's also you remaining, calm and clear-headed and light-hearted and light-spirited. It's also you going into surrender. But in combination with the Seven of Autumn, the Seven of Autumn is a card that's about this slow and steady wins the race. Patience is required. You've planted the seeds. You've done what you need to do. You've taken the appropriate action steps. Now we just need to give it some time for the manifestation to happen. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. What the masculine himself is willing to give toward the union this week, and it is Earth connection. So Earth connection, again, very, very Venus, ruler of Taurus. Also very Mercury, ruler of Virgo. But Venus being the mother, even more so connected to Earth. And this is about abundance. This is like an Ace of Pentacles kind of card too. So that's what he's willing to get. That's the energy he wants to give. And he's... If I had used 2 tarot decks, we probably would have had an Ace of Pentacles here and the Ace of Pentacles here. But instead, he used this Earth connection. But it's coupled with the Four of Foundations, right? The structure, the basis. So it's an abundant and solid foundation on which we have to build. We're not putting together something flimsy and just throwing it together. I want us to build together or co-create something real. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. The Four of Autumn, or Pentacles, for me as it relates to love, is very similar to the Four of Autumn for me as it relates to work, which I always find easier to explain to people. You know, when you go to work and you really don't want to be there, but you go there, you put a smile on your face, you do your job. Why? Because it pays the bills, but for no other reason. You don't like these folks, they don't like you. You're not even all that excited about the amount of money that you make, but again, it pays the bills. And so you're there. We can be the same way with relationships. Like it's the devil I know. Right? There's reasons why I'm here, but I'm not really happy. I'm sure I could be much happier with somebody else. When the Four of Pentacles shows up, sometimes it's time to figure out what is the case. And now's a good time with that Venus in Libra, with that Mercury in Libra, to talk about it. If you're a couple that's having those kind of difficulties, again, maybe connected to judgment also. That crossroad. Where do we go from here, if anywhere? What do we want to do? What do you want of me? What do I want of you? Let's be honest about it and say it. And maybe it's nothing. Maybe we're done. Or maybe this is an opportunity for us to fix what we have. And Ace of Autumn. So like I was saying here, it might be time to let go potentially of maybe an earth sign directly. Not necessarily, but, so it could be time to let somebody go or time to fix a relationship. And the masculine willing to do whichever one of those, is applicable to him this week. But this is also, like I said, about building a solid foundation, too, for some of us. What the universe would have each or both of us do, all of us do, and even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm, is reaping what we've sown. So here the feminine really wants to, in particular, she's got the Seven of Autumn here, and she's like, okay, where's that stuff I planted? Universe wants you to have it, wants you to manifest it now. It's telling you to use the energy of the moon and the surrender to draw it in, right? Let go of any energy of expectation and limiting, the limits that you've been putting on your dreams, on your goals, on the universe. Stop blocking your blessings and, go into that place of surrender and allow it to happen. That's going to require you letting go, letting some stuff burn that's from the past. You can't hold on to all of it. So you got to let that go so that you can have this. You know, like that story about the dog with the bone, and he's looking down in the water and he sees a dog in the bone, a dog with a bone in the reflection. I want that dog. I mean, I want that bone that dog has. And he opens his mouth and he drops his bone because it was just his reflection. You got to have one or the other. We got to leave the space for the other one. You know, we can't hold on to it all. So that's what this is saying here. And the universe wants to help you with that, if you would so like the help. And the outcome. Abundance. See? With the 10 of summer. So this is also about feeling abundant in love, right? Being joyous, whether it's just one person with us that's, you know, or we're surrounded by our entire family, our closest one-on-one relationships again, perhaps. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising balanced and happy children. 10 of summer is about, even if it's just in this one moment, feeling fulfilled, content, just emotionally at peace, trusting that I've put my intentions out there. I believe it, so I can receive it. I've done my work, and the next step is for it to come, right? For me to reap what I've sown. I don't have to do anything else. And just feeling at least in this moment, that all of that's done. So you're happy. You don't want for anything at this time when this card shows up. Further, for each, and the third eye chakra was here. This is about seeing and being able to tell the difference between illusion and reality, maybe as it relates to that Piscean moon. And then again, speaking of manifestation, overall energy here is the Magician. The further advice to the masculine from the Angel Tarot is the Two of Water, Two of Cups. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. So again, relationships can get back together. We can come to that crossroad. We can either talk it out and work it out, or we can part ways. And in either case, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So it's positive at the end of the day, no matter what. And feminine, maybe you'll end up single as a result of something like that. But again, it's a good thing. Or this could just be about you doing some introspection, you spending time with yourself, because you're feeling so abundant and you're content and you don't want for anything right now. I just feel good. I'm just going to go and, do what I like to do my thing. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. Masculine for you, it is parents. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. For some of us, it could be our parents who maybe are trying to get us to do something other than what our hearts, our souls would have us do. That doesn't mean they don't love us, but they in that sense don't really know what's best for us. They think, I believe this, that they believe that they're doing what's best for us when they, intrude perhaps in that way. But you don't know what's in my soul, so you don't know what's best for me in this regard. And I have to choose what I want, what's going to make me happy. So there may be some of those things coming up with parents in connection to a Two of Water. And for some of us, we may be healing a relationship with a parent, and that will allow us to move forward. Because remember, you heal your relationship with yourself, that's going to help you to have better relationships in general with other people. So you resolve something with a parent maybe, and it could just be like, that may be all you needed in order to, move to the next step in your life as it relates to your other relationships, including romantic ones. Feminine, for us, cancel, clear, delete. Again, maybe that's how we end up single in some cases. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of your past negative thinking. Masculine, another indication that something is coming to an end, maybe again involving an air sign. Even here we saw the potential for air, where I said, there could be a need to let somebody go. Maybe an air sign. Or maybe an air sign is who you're going to be with. You're letting someone else go. But in any case, it's the end of a career path, project, or relationship. And that brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness. And this is the feminine. And then she has this energy, this advice card of the 9 of Pentacles. So again, it could have to do with singlehood or relationship having ended. Mixed joy and sadness. So it's like sad that the relationship is ended because we tried and, we might feel like we didn't succeed. But at the same time, relief, right? Thank God that's over because I was not happy. Also disappointment, I wish we'd done better. I wish maybe we never done anything, Wish we never did it. There's a song like that. There's a Trey Songs, right? I wish we never did it, and I wish we never loved it. I wish I never fell in love with you, and now there ain't no way we can be friends. I think that's how it goes. Anyway, I digress. Put aside your fears about the changes that are occurring in your life, and trust that a brighter future awaits. Feminine from the Animal Tarot. The 9 of Summer is back again. So again, this is a yes to your love, yes or no questions in particular. Now's the time when your dreams come true. That's why you have to stop using the negative words and use words of affirmation because you're manifesting. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. And boom, for the masculine, sacred union. Why are you letting go of a relationship that doesn't work? Because there's one that is genuinely meant for you, meant for your soul. All right. And feminine, emergence. All about, again, looking to the light, rising from the ashes, from the negativity, from the past, toward the future, just soaring ahead. Right? This is super positive growth for the feminine this week. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the love reading. I will be back with a reading for the Pisces full moon. And I look forward to it. And a couple more client readings are going up. Namaste.